Top stories tonight. EFCC obtains warrant to arrest ex-Kogi Governor Yahaya Bello. APC accuses NNPP of instigating Ganduje's travails. New twist in PDP as Damagun reverts to Deputy National Chairman. Kenyan court orders doctors to end strike by Friday. Thank you for joining us. My name is FELICITY EZEWUIKE. The group of 60 G60 People's Democratic Party lawmakers in the 10th National Assembly on Wednesday said that the resignation of the party's former national chairman, Iyorchia Ayu, has nailed the coffin on the fate of the embattled acting national chairman, Umar Damagun. They commended Ayu for withdrawing a lawsuit he instituted against the party, noting that the action that made Damagun refuse to step down until the withdrawal of all cases paved the way for him to hand over to North Central. According to the G60 PDP federal lawmakers led by Honorable Ikenga Ugochinyere, Idato Rep, Ayu's action has removed the last bottleneck and excuse given by Damagun to hang on to power and opened the expressway without any excuse for Damagun to revert to his position as deputy chairman. The lawmakers who have been clamoring for reform of the party, including the resignation of the acting chairman, Umar Damagun, stated that with this withdrawal, PDP NEC will proceed with the election of North Central candidate as national chairman during their NEC meeting tomorrow. The Federal High Court sitting in Abuja has granted the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, permission to arrest the former governor of Kogi State, Yahaya Bello, preparatory to his arraignment on Thursday. Justice Emeka Nwite granted the warrant on Wednesday at the instance of the EFCC. Earlier, a High Court sitting in Lokoja, Kogi State capital, restrained the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission from infringing on the fundamental human rights of the former Kogi State governor. In a 2-hour judgment delivered on Wednesday at the High Court 4 and presided over by Honorable Justice I.A. Jamil, the court restrained the EFCC from arresting, detaining, and prosecuting the applicant except as authorized by the court. Joining me for more updates on this is our correspondent, AMADIN. AMADIN, if you can hear me, good evening. I'll try and get AMADIN subsequently. But also joining us on the news to discuss this is legal practitioner Okiki Adeniro. Okiki, thank you very much for giving us your time.
Thank you for having me.
What are the potential consequences for the EFCC if they disregard the court order and proceed with arresting or prosecuting Yahaya Bello? Does appealing the order change the situation?
Well, the consequences basically are that, in this kind of case, when the court has, given an order that a particular act should not be done, if that is done against the order of the court, then the party who has done so will be in contempt of court. Like you asked again, we appeal, having the recourse to appeal, will it solve the situation? Well, in this case, if the EFCC appeals the ruling that, that gave the order, that way, they can vacate that order. The court can look at it again, review the order, and see if it was gotten in the proper way. What we have presently is that the EFCC has approached the appeal court in order to appeal the ruling, that made that order. So, as the case is right now, the EFCC trying to arrest where there's a subsisting order is not legal. An order of court is supposed to be adhered to, basically.
How does the EFCC alleged disobedience to the court order impact the prosecution of the corruption case against former Governor Bello?
Well, with this case right now, the issue we have at hand right now, it will further delay. The case we have right now needs to be taken carefully. It needs to be approached carefully. If at this point in time, the EFCC wants to arrest Governor Yaya Bello with the order subsisting saying that he should not be arrested and or prosecuted, if that is done, Governor Yaya Bello has the right to go to court to charge them for contempt, and that will further delay the prosecution of Governor Yaya Bello, because at the time when that will probably be going on, there will still be an order subsisting saying that they should stay, right? So in this case right now, I believe that it will further delay if they go ahead to arrest Governor Yaya Bello, or if they go ahead to do any other thing outside what the courts have said.
Can the EFCC be legally pressured by politicians to act maybe against the court order? If so, what recourse is available?
Well, I don't believe that the EFCC can be legally pressured. Legally pressured means that you probably have to go through the legal means to do an act. Like I mentioned, you will agree with me that an order of court is subsisting, right? If the order of court is subsisting, there's no other legal way than to have recourse to the Court of Appeal to vitiate the order that's been given at the lower court. If that will not be done, it means that the EFCC will have to adhere to that order. And as it is now, the case is at the Court of Appeal. The EFCC has appealed to the Court of Appeal to vitiate that order. So basically, there's no way the politicians can legally, if there's anything that is done, it will only be done illegal in an illegal manner. And right now, what we have presently, the process has started. EFCC started the process of vitiating that order. Then they should follow the process and ensure that that order is vacated, and then they can go ahead to do what they need to do.
How might the EFCC's actions, if found to be unlawful, set a precedent for future cases involving law enforcement and court orders?
Well, if found unlawful, I'm certain that this is probably not the first time this is happening. We've seen different cases where there'll be an order of court, and an agency of government will probably still go ahead to go and perform an act which the court has said it should not do. It will further push forward that any agency of government should obey the rule of law, respect the law, and adhere to what the court has said. These are the things that are happening in the country, and that might probably cause anarchy. Where there's no law, then there will be anarchy. So I believe that in this case, let it be known to other agencies of the government that an order of court, when is made, even if it is not in their support, if it is not what they expect, they need to obey the law. They need to obey the courts and adhere by what the court has said, and not flout the rules.
Okay, thank you very much for speaking with us. I guess everybody will be excited a day that we see politicians respect court orders. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Staying in Kogi State, activists and members of civil society groups have united under the banner of the Coalition for Democracy and Justice to voice their concerns regarding what they perceive as a dangerous trend within the EFCC. The activists are particularly troubled by what they see as a disregard for a valid court order restraining the EFCC from taking action against the immediate past governor of Kogi State, despite a court order protecting him from arrest, prosecution, and harassment. They argue that such actions not only undermine the authority of the judiciary, but also erode the trust of the citizens in the country's legal system. They urged President Tinubu to intervene and ensure that the EFCC operates within the confines of the law, safeguarding the principles of justice and fairness.
Now it is important that we advise the EFCC not to make itself susceptible to any action that might be deemed as violating the sanctity of the judiciary. they must ignore the antics of all those who are urging them to commit contempt of court through disregarding an outstanding court order against the arrest of the former governor Yahya Bello or any of his aides pending determination of the case in court in that regard, as instituted by the lawyers of the former governor. The rule of law is lifeblood of democracy. Therefore, we urge the FCC to always toe the path of legality in carrying out its mandate. The Commission must deliberately avoid the temptation of falling under the pressure of disgruntled political elements by breaking the law in their actions to uphold the law. All of those concerned must follow the due process of law by abiding with subsisting court orders. We do sincerely hope that the FCC, as a law-abiding agency, will see through the poorly veiled, ignoble actions of those undesirable political elements and refuse to act illegally.
The National Working Committee (NWC) of the ruling All Progressive Congress (APC) has reacted to the order of a Kano State High Court which affirmed the suspension of its National Chairman Abdullahi Ganduje, describing it as a nullity, unenforceable, and therefore cannot be obeyed. The development came on Wednesday as Ganduje received the APC Ward Executive from his ward in Kano, who were at the National Secretariat of the party to affirm their confidence in him. Addressing the ward executives, Ganduje said those who purportedly suspended him were impostors. Meanwhile, National Legal Advisor of the party, Professor Abdulkarim Kana, said the Kano High Court order is not enforceable as it was obtained by fraud. He said the ward executive would petition the National Judicial Council, NJC, to call the High Court judge to order.
The history behind it is that the NMPP, they have noticed that since they came into office about 1 year now, they have committed so many mistakes, a lot of maladministration, and they have started seeing the writing on the wall that come 2027, they are doomed to fail as a political party and as a government. Kano State produced the highest votes for Mr. President to win the national election. Now the NMPP has decided to take these measures so that they can weaken the party and ensure that ensure that our president, Ashwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
For the latest on what's happening in Kano, we're joined now by our correspondent, Marvelous OBONMANU. Marvelous, it's good to see you again. We spoke yesterday and you weren't quite sure whether the court process will pull through today. What updates do you have for us as regards the politics, aside from the audio we just had?
All right, of course, you know, as yesterday I told you that the arraignment today is under probability, and just today that probability was confirmed because the prosecution, which is the government, failed to serve the criminal notice to all the 8 respondents, and that is why at the court today it was just the 6th respondent that was the only person that made an appearance. All the 7 respondents didn't make any appearance, just that particular 6th respondent. And he said that he's yet to receive, the criminal notice. And he now asked the trial judge, to discontinue the case till the criminal notice is being served to all the respondents. And of course, the trial judge accepted his, his application and then adjourned to 29th of April. By then, the prosecution must have served the criminal notice to all the parties involved, and then, of course, the arraignment will commence.
What are the feelers you're getting? What are the political players saying about the development with the national chairman of the party?
All right. I spoke with the SSA to Ganduje on legal matters and one other APC stalwart that I met in court today. So they were saying that all the issues and what Ganduje is currently facing is being masterminded by the former governor of Kano State, Rabiu Kwankwaso, that he has a plan of defecting to the APC and he wants to be the national chairman, and that Ganduje remains the only stumbling block that he will have before he, achieves that his ambition, and that is why he's looking for all means to remove Ganduje. So that is what they are saying. They are saying that it is a personal vendetta, it is a witch hunt by Rabiu Kwankwaso to remove Ganduje so that he can, clinch the national chairman seats. So these are some of the feelers. Of course, it's just the APC chieftains that we saw most of them in court. We didn't really see much of the people on the government side in court. Just the prosecution counsel who said that it is because they were not able to file the notices rather. That was why the arraignment did not pull through. So that before that adjournment date comes, that he will serve all the notices to all the respondents, and then all of them will come prepared to continue the arraignments.
Was a date, I didn't quite catch that, was a date clearly stated for the next adjournment?
Yes, on the 29th of April.
All right, marvelous. I'm sure we'll be back with you again. Thank you very much for speaking with us. I'm also being joined by the National Publicity Secretary of the New Nigeria People's Party, Ladipo Johnson. Ladipo, it's good to have you on the news. Thanks for giving us your time. What's your party's response to Dr. Abdullahi Ganduje's claims that the move to suspend him from office was orchestrated by the NNPP and Governor Abba Yusuf of Kano State?
Good evening. Thanks for having me. I think his statement that I just listened to borders on the delusional. I wouldn't like to say that the man doesn't know what he's saying, but I think he's just doing his best to send people in the wrong direction, get people distracted from the facts that the anti-corruption organization in Kano feels that he has a case to answer on some issues. If you have a case to answer, then you answer your case. He's no longer governor. He doesn't have the immunity. It is and then apart from that, the fact that he was suspended or not, the internal affairs of the APC. We have nothing whatsoever to do with that. So it's, as I said, the old man is trying to distract, is either delusional or just trying to distract from the fact that members of his party are beginning to question the wisdom of using someone with so much baggage as a national chairman. It doesn't speak well of a party which says it's coming to turn the economy of the country in the right direction, etc. So that is their problem. It has nothing to do with the New Nigeria People's Party. And the fact that he had issues with his his political leader, Engineer Rabiu Kwankwaso, does not mean that Engineer Kwankwaso is losing sleepless nights over him or over what he's doing. So I think he should stop deluding himself. He should try to answer the issues that are facing him, the corruption charges, and try to see how he can inspire members of his party to turn around the economy of the country. Nigerians are suffering. Inflation is rising on a daily basis.
There's a school of thought that is arguing that the corruption allegations against the former governor is political. What is your take on the possible fear that governors might abuse or misuse state anti-graft agencies against real or perceived political opponents?
Do you believe that the EFCC is being used by the federal against political opponents?
That's
if we do, then we can say if we do, then we can say that maybe the state ones are being used. Look, he appointed the man who is chairman of the anti-graft institution in Kano. He was appointed by Ganduje, not by Konkozo and not by Abakabir Yusuf. So that, as I said, it is just the way. And then back to your question, the real issue here is this. If someone has a case to answer, do we say because the government or the person at the helm of affairs at that particular time is from a different party, then he shouldn't, or they should turn a blind eye? Is that what we're saying? Automatically it becomes a witch hunt? Why don't we see if the rule of law is properly applied? Why don't we see the prosecution bring their case to the court and then a defense entered as well? And then we see if the rule of law is playing out.
All right, let's take one more question.
Just assume, we shouldn't just assume that it is a witch hunt or something.
All right, let's just take one more question before we let you go. A look back at what happened in 2017, where Ganduje was seen as then governor pocketing vast amounts of American dollars in what was said to be bribe payments from public works contractors, and now the new allegation. Should we say this is beyond mere politics and just a fight against corruption?
Exactly. I think that there's a video you're playing right now. We've all seen it. We all heard everything about it. It was swept under the carpet. They want to look at that, amongst other things, many other things. Let it be looked at. It's simple. It isn't a witch hunt. The man at the helm of affairs conducting this investigation was appointed by him, not appointed by the NMPP. So that should, if that is what is playing out, if the prosecution feel that they have enough to go by, fantastic. If they don't, then let the man rest. But for him to start to turn around or swivel around and say it's from Ponkoso or it's from NMPP, as I said, is either delusional or he's just trying to distract Nigerians or the citizens of Kano from the truth. And you begin to wonder what he's trying to hide.
Ladipo, thank you very much for speaking with us. We appreciate your time.
Thank you much for having me.
Coming up, Nigerians are moved by palliative distribution. We'll tell you more about this after this very short break. Just stay with us. If you've just joined us, you're watching Tonight. A reminder of our top stories. EFCC obtains warrant to arrest ex-Kogi Governor Yahaya Bello. APC accuses NNPP of instigating Ganduje's travails. New twist in PDP as Damagun reverts to Deputy National Chairman. Kenyan court orders doctors to end strike by Friday. Let's tell you about that palliative now. Severally, the Nigerian government announced distribution of stimulus packages to the citizens as a way of ameliorating hardship caused by either a pandemic or government policy. This initiative became prominent during and after the COVID-19 lockdown and has now become a norm across the country periodically. News Center's Chinwe Ugele reports that there are plans by the Abia State government to distribute new set of stimulus packages from the federal government to a select group in the state. Her report.
The palliatives are mostly food items such as grains, which are given to the public according to the sharing modalities adopted by the state government. This time, Commissioner for Information and Culture in Abia State, Prince Kano, says junior civil servants are to benefit from the rice donated by the federal government in the initial sharing.
And out of these 24,000, about 12,071 will be distributed to civil servants, and this will have been they've been graded levels 1 to 10, but the first phase 1 to 7.
Interestingly, the masses are not enthusiastic about the packages anymore for many reasons.
Actually, it's only civil servants, and the majority of people are not civil servants. So it will not go around by giving to the civil servants alone.
The ones that was distributed in time past was actually sectioned to some area, and I wouldn't think that it actually cut across all spheres of life.
With the high cost of foodstuff and economic realities on ground, one would have thought that such gestures would make the people smile. They are suggesting that government should channel the funds used in procuring food items periodically on the development of infrastructure in the various sectors of the economy.
I would rather suggest, instead of giving food palliatives or cash palliatives, let such money be spent on developing infrastructures in the medical sector, in the agricultural sector, in the educational sector.
They should channel it to another thing that every person will benefit. Not only few people. When you give out that palliative, it's only few people that benefit from it.
From all that have been said by the people, it is clear that what the masses require most are projects that are beneficial to them, projects that they can relate to, and not the periodic stimulus packages called palliatives that are given to the masses. In Omahefon News Central, Chinwe Ugele.
While conversations on the construction of the Lagos to Calabar Coastal Road are still ongoing, workers of the popular landmark Leisure Beach woke up on Wednesday to witness the commencement of the sand filling of the beachfront. Landmark Resort is one of the many facilities that will be affected by the Coastal Road project. Our correspondent, Bernard Kede, visited the beach and completes the report.
For those who know the Landmark Beach Resort, what you see behind me here is what you're probably used to. But very soon, even this might change. Conversations are ongoing about the Lagos to Calabar Coastal Road, which may most likely hamper activities on this beach, if not even change what we know or what we used to know as Landmark Beach Resort. But it doesn't end there. Workers on the beach woke up this morning to find this sand filling of the beachfront. And we hear that this doesn't even have anything to do with the creation of the coastal road. This is another issue completely. This is coming from the construction of Eco Atlantic City.
Housing several businesses, the resort has over the years grown beyond being just a beach. And on hearing what was going on, staff of Landmark and other vendors on the premises came out to make their voices heard.
So we have over 100 staff in Landmark that work directly on the beach. So indirectly, we have over 5,000 staff that work for the vendors. But if you want to quantify the amount of externals in terms of suppliers, third-party vendors that work with us here, then we're talking about 10, 12,000 or even more. Because the magnitude of the businesses we have here. So currently on the beach, we have about 45 businesses. And each business, for the small businesses, have as many staff, some as much as 15, 20. The big vendors have as much as 100, 200, 300 staff that work here. So you can imagine how many people resume here every day. For the customers, we have as much as 15,000, 20,000 customers that come here, sometimes on a particular day, aside from the events we have. So we host most of the largest events here on the beach. So you can imagine seeing this morning and everything going away. It means that the livelihoods of all these people and who they're dependent on is gone.
In the past few weeks, Landmark has been in the news. The Leisure Beach Resort is one of the many facilities to be affected by the construction of the ongoing Lagos to Calabar Coastal Road. Staff of Landmark had already been vocal on and offline about what may become of their lives should this road construction cut through the resort before this latest development.
I started working here while I was still in school, and I've been paying my school fees here till I finish, and I'm still working here. The thought of it alone, it's actually giving me pains and trauma because I don't know where to begin from. The certificate, I don't even know where to source for a job. This has been a home for many, especially I. And if this should happen, maybe only God knows, but it's going to be a disaster.
In fact, I started my educational career here in Landmark, where I work as a staff before I become a managerial level. I think as we can all see is I'm being devastated I'm very shocked. Even coming back this morning after the whole trauma and all that. I'm seeing this happening. So already, I'm sick. I'm sick.
On his X handle, Paul Onwanibe, the MD CEO of Landmark Group, explained in details what exactly was happening between Landmark and the government, while stating he remained hopeful that the ongoing conversations will yield a positive conclusion. But with the recent sand-filling activities on the beachfront, it appears things may just be taking a different turn.
If the work at the beach resort here continues this way, the impact will definitely affect, directly or indirectly, hundreds of thousands of people. But then again, that is just one facility, Landmark Beach Resort. The impact spreads way beyond this resort. The hope is that whatever is being done here will be mutually beneficial to both parties, and that's the government and the people. In Lagos for News Central, I'm Bernard Akede.
Still ahead, Kenyan court orders doctors to reach deal by Friday. We'll bring you details when we return. Let's now bring you one of our top stories tonight. A Kenyan court has ordered doctors and the government to reach an agreement within 48 hours to end a nationwide strike that is now in its 5th week. Doctors at public hospitals down tools in mid-March over pay and working conditions, disrupting services for thousands of patients. At the center of the row is a move by the government to slash the salaries of medical interns, who make up about 30% of doctors. Labour Court Judge Byram Ongaya said the National Doctors Union and the government must immediately convene a meeting without conditions and conclude a written return to work formula not later than close of Friday. Up next is business news.
Business news in association with Money Master PSB, the easy way to master your money.
Welcome to Business News. Petro SA, South Africa's state-owned oil and gas firm, is set to receive its first gas inflows from a deal with Mozambique's ENH later this year as part of efforts to avert a looming gas shortage. Having recently obtained a gas trading license, Petro SA has swiftly secured an agreement for an initial 2 petajoules of gas per year, with the potential to increase to 200 petajoules. This could cater to many industrial gas consumers, including steelmaker ArcelorMittal. Petro SA aims to establish a joint venture with ENH to attract gas customers in South Africa and trade gas from offshore fields discovered by Total Energies. The deal involves importing gas via the Romco pipeline and distributing it through Sasol's network. Negotiations and feasibility studies for gas transportation agreements are currently underway. Zambia is facing its most severe drought ever, leading to a significant reduction in crops and an expected halving of economic growth. As a usual exporter of corn, the country is now expecting a 2/3 decrease in this year's harvest. The drought has also resulted in a major power shortage affecting the mining sector. The government is adjusting its budget and seeking additional funding from international donors to manage the crisis. The drought linked to El Nino and climate change has left 6.6 million Zambians in urgent need of assistance. The necessary $900 million will be allocated to food, support for farmers, and energy supplies. Despite these challenges, the government is prioritizing electricity supply to the copper industry, a key economic sector. And finally, during a meeting between Colonel Assimi Goita, Mali's junta leader, and Mohamed Mustafa Barke, Niger's oil minister, an agreement was finalized for Niger to supply diesel to Mali's national energy company, EDMSA. The company, burdened by significant debt and inconsistent power supply, has left half of Mali's population frustrated. This agreement follows Niger's commitment to supply diesel to Burkina Faso, Mali, and Chad, all of which are impoverished and under military rule. These nations are part of the Alliance of Sahel states, Niger's new oil pipeline to Benin, and a $400 million loan from China, an advance on future oil sales, bolsters its position as a regional energy powerhouse. Niger aims to boost oil production to 110,000 barrels per day, with 90,000 designated for export. And that's our offering of business news at this time. Thank you for watching. I am Perpetua Fasami Peter. The news continues shortly. Bye for now.
Business news in association with Money Master PSB, the easy way to master your money.
Now go to our sports desk for the latest updates.
Sports update brought to you by Corn Oil. Corn Oil, we go the extra mile.
In sport, Nigeria's highest-ranked table tennis player, Aruna Quadri, has been eliminated from the ongoing ITTF World Cup in Macau, China, following a 1-3 defeat to world number 17, Marcos Freitas from Portugal. Quadri lost the first 3 sets, 12-10, 11-9, 11-9. But he won the last set 11-3, which was not enough to take him to the round of 16. Quadri, who recently climbed back into the top 20 of the ITTF rankings, had opened his campaign World Cups on a good note with a 4-love win over Puerto Rico's Daniel Gonzalez. Meanwhile, Egypt's Omar Asal, the 2023 African Cup winner, will face Japan's Shunsuke Togami in the round of 16 after dispatching Morega Truz of Sweden and Iran's Noshat Almiyan to emerge as winner in Group 16. Away from there now to football, Rebel Stars left it late to secure a vital point against Dover United away from home in matchday 30 encounter in the Nigerian Premier Football League. Andrew Majalisa opened the scoring for the hosts from a free kick which beat Cameroonian goalkeeper Charles Tambe just before halftime. The Savannah Tigers seemed to be heading for a home win, but the 91st minute Unduka Jr. restored parity for the away side, which ensured coach Daniel Ogubodede's team earned a vital away point in their hunt for a first league title. With this result, Rebel Stars are now fourth on the log with 50 points, but have played a game less than the top 3. Enugu Rangers are top with 54 points. Still talking football, Lagos-based side Sporting Lagos have parted ways with coach Paul Ofo and his technical crew. According to a statement on the club's website, the performance of the team was key in taking a decision. A replacement has not been announced. Meanwhile, Coach Paul led Sporting Lagos to their first ever NPFL promotion and won their first ever piece of silverware, the Niger Super 8 preseason competition. His assistants, Micah Bello and Edward Green, will also leave their positions. Sporting Lagos are currently 11th with 38 points, 4 points above the drop zone, with 10 matches to play before the end of the season. And now to the Olympics. Japan's official apparel for the Paris Olympics and Paralympics was unveiled on Wednesday with 100 days to go until the Olympic opening ceremony. The bright red tops are inspired by French capital sunrises, while the use of recycled materials contributed to a 34% cut in greenhouse gas emissions in their manufacture compared to those for the Tokyo Olympics 3 years ago. Gymnast Daiki Hashimoto, who won the gold medals at the Tokyo Olympics, attended the press conference in Tokyo with other athletes, including volleyball player Yuji Nishida and Bosia player Takayuki Hirose. And to wrap up sports update, LeBron James, Stephen Curry, and Kevin Durant will spearhead the star-studded United States Olympic basketball squad, chasing the 5th straight gold medals at this summer's Paris Olympic Games. USA Basketball confirmed the formidable 12-man roster, bristling with NBA talent that also includes reigning most valuable player Joel Embiid, along with Boston Celtics standouts Jason Tatum and Drew Holiday. Los Angeles Lakers star James, the NBA's all-time leading scorer, will be competing in his 4th Olympics after appearances at 2004, 2008 and 2012 games. Golden State star Curry, whose season came to an end on Tuesday when the Warriors were eliminated from the NBA playoffs, will be playing in his first Olympics. Other star names in the squad, which contains 12 NBA All-Stars, 4 NBA MVPs and 6 NBA champions, include Phoenix Devin Booker, the Lakers Anthony Davis, the Los Angeles Clippers Kawhi Leonard, and the Miami Heat's Bam Adebayo. Interesting times ahead of the Paris Olympics. And that wraps it up for Sports Update and Favor Itua. Up next is entertainment.
Sports Update brought to you by Corn Oil. Corn Oil, we go the extra mile. Entertainment news in association with Glow Unlimited.
Burna Boy, the Nigerian Afrofusion sensation, has been named one of Time magazine's top 100 influential people of 2024 in the prestigious Icons section. Multi-Grammy-winning artist Angelique Kidjo celebrates Burna Boy as a trailblazer in African music, praising his dedication to tradition and Fela Kuti's legacy. Kidjo highlights Burna Boy's historic milestones like selling out a US stadium and Grammy performances. Burna Boy's global impact, shown through collaborations with Kidjo, underscores his influence. Additionally, Burna Boy commends American rapper 21 Savage for his authenticity and resilience in hip-hop. He also highlights their recent collaboration and performances at the Grammys, emphasizing their shared journey and mutual respect. Big congratulations to Burna Boy right there. Keep making us proud. American University is expanding its academic offerings with a new economic course focusing on the financial impact of pop star Taylor Swift. That's amazing. The course is titled Swiftonomics. I beg your pardon. The course is proposed by Econ students Megan Wysocki and Mackenzie Schultz. It delves into Swift's business footprints, earnings from her Eras store, and her influence on debates like the Ticketmaster monopoly. Department Chair Cara Reynolds oversees the class, aiming to engage students with real-world economics through a popular cultural lens. Interesting times in the world of entertainment indeed. And that's all we'll take on entertainment tonight. We'll take a short break, and when we are back, we'll bring you the updates on what's trending tonight.
Entertainment news in association with Glow Unlimited.
Moving away from entertainment news, today Bureau the Change takes the center stage in our trending stories. As the Bureau the Change begins purchasing dollars at 980 naira per dollar, many view this as a positive sign indicating a potential appreciation of the naira. However, the excitement over the currency's strengthening is dampened by the stark reality of rising prices of goods and services across the economy, despite this significant appreciation of the naira. The rapid appreciation of the naira raises questions as well about its underlying mechanisms, particularly given that Nigeria is persistent in consumer-driven economy. Nigerians are wondering how the government intends to sustain the naira appreciation, and they are taken to social media to express their concerns on this matter. Let us now check out some of those reactions on X. Guru is saying, as they keep depleting the reserves, keep your dollars or buy more dollars now that it is cheaper because it will still spike. With no increase in the sale of crude and oil thefts, let us see how long APC can keep deceiving themselves. Have we moved from consumption to production to earn enough dollars through exports? We have another tweet from Prince saying, as price of the dollars to naira are reducing, the price of goods and services are jumping high. How does one explain this economic principle? And then we have another tweet here from Duke of Onitsha saying, at whose expense is the naira increasing? Naira appreciating against the dollar, but at the expense of our foreign reserves. When CBN is done burning the reserves, what will happen? The dollar skyrockets again because we have literally nothing to support the naira. We are a consuming economy. And that's all for tonight on What's Trending. But you can share your thoughts across our social media platforms at News Central TV. I'm Jadel Simon.
And that's all tonight. But before we go, let's take another look at some of the major stories.
EFCC has obtained warrant to arrest ex-Kogi Governor Yahaya Bello. APC has accused an NPP of instigating Ganduje's travels. New twist in PDP as Damagun reverts to Deputy National Chairman. We also brought you news that Kenyan court has ordered doctors to end strike by Friday. Would like to hear from you. Please send your eyewitness report to the number showing now on your screen. You can also follow us on social media at News Central TV. We're live on DSTV channel 422, Star Times channel 274, Apple TV, and on YouTube. Thank you very much for your kind company. Have a good night.